Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/SIBSB. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Until I met my new best friend, all of my boys say I'm tripping. When they call, I'm not answering. They always get my voicemail.
Alex, are we rolling? We are rolling. Welcome to another episode of Sorry I've Been So Busy. This is a podcast where we talk to very busy people about what they are busy with. Sometimes we talk to not very busy people about what they are busy with all day. We have a very busy guy on in a few minutes. Very excited to meet him. Andrew Goldstein is here.
At Ange Gold on Twitter, ANGEGOLD. Very excited about our guest. Long time in the works.
Yes, very. It's someone you've been frothing at the mouth. That's not quite the.
I don't know about that. He's a great guy, but I don't know if I'm frothing.
I'm Matt Goldich, by the way, at Matt Goldich on Twitter, MattGoldich. We're here in the Showbiz Studios. Producer Alex is here. He's got about a dozen podcasts as part of the Showbiz Network. Check them out, showbizstudios.com, the YouTube page, the Facebook page.
Alex has many children.
Yeah. I saw, who did Sean have on Defend Your Movie recently? Somebody good. Jim Norton? Oh, okay. What was the more recent one? Sure, we've had her. Yeah. Big deal. No,
I don't think anybody's hearing Alex's side.
That's fine.
He has a third mic. He just didn't use it.
Yeah.
Rachel Feinstein.
And a third leg, ladies. So the Defend Your Movie podcast. A lot of great pods on
David Feldman show.
Oh yeah, we had Feldman on a recent episode. He's great.
So many people told me that was like one of their favorite episodes. Meanwhile, while doing it, super awkward.
It
was one of the most awkward live experiences, but everybody seemed to like it.
I mean, I hope he wouldn't mind me saying
I love
this,
David
but
Feldman.
he's a legend.
He's a legend.
Yeah. And check us out, by the way. Check out our Facebook page, Twitter at Busy Podcast, and please rate and review us on iTunes. You could be the busybody of the week, like this week's busybody.
Nice transition
On iTunes.
Who do we got?
The iTunes user FIF2003 RIP. What do you think FIF stands for?
Interesting. I don't know.
I'm going to guess RIP is rest in peace, unless they're a big Rip Hamilton fan. But or Rip Torn. Andrew and Matt are the best. This is called Best Podcast. Andrew and Matt are the best. They bring in the best guests. Keeps me laughing week in and week out. Repping Philly always. I'm glad they threw in Repping Philly always because everything else was a little generic, like could have been about any podcast, but so thank you. FIF 2003 RIP. Something died
I feel
in
like there's some
2003.
positivity there, but then it goes sad.
Something or someone died.
It seems like a license plate.
That was I don't know.
Or a tattoo.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. But thank you for the iTunes review, and if you want to identify yourself, you're the busybody of the week. That
was a good one. Very effusive.
Yeah. Any other business we want to get out? Anything we want to promote or plug right away before I find out what you have been busy with recently? Andrew?
Well, my show Open Late with Peter Rosenberg is currently on YouTube.com/complex. New episodes drop every Thursday night at 10 p.m. But you can catch all of the episodes on the page if you just search for it.
Yes.
Pete Davidson last week was very funny.
Oh, great.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, that got some press. He was talking about Trump on SNL.
He divulged a story that had never come out about Trump taking a fake phone call at the table read.
Yeah. Look, we've all done it.
We've all done
it. If you're trying to get me to turn against the guy, I'm not going to be like...
That won't convince me.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, there's plenty of things worse than, if they're like... It's like saying, Trump once had a friend call him on a date to make sure text him to make sure he was having a good time, and if he was having a bad time, to get out of it. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, what have you been busy with besides?
Well, I'm just back. I'm fresh back from the trip I've been talking about on the podcast for months.
The Kentucky trip.
The Kentucky trip. Thank you. It all happened because of you. You planted the seed in my head.
Yeah.
I suggested it to my friends, and here we are.
I did this trip in October. Now, I had a lot of good whiskey on this trip, and I had a great time, but you seem to really, I've followed you on Instagram, you seem to eat a lot better food
We
than
really
I
did it up.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the deal. It was 10 soon-to-be or 40-year-olds in an Airbnb, mansion, just 3 days, 2 nights. 3 nights, 4 days,
6
3
days,
nights.
7 nights.
4 days, 3 nights.
Yeah.
And just like eating stuff we're not supposed to eat, drinking things we're not supposed to drink, doing other things we're not supposed to do, talking in a way we're probably not like these
Recording Major League Baseball games.
These are all guys with kids and wives who probably, when we just reverted back to, we were 40-year-olds reverting back to being 14 again. It was wonderful.
All of these meals you were eating, were you bringing all the other people along on all these, or were you?
We rolled deep everywhere. We kind of didn't split up, and I was determined to do an Instagram story with my food because I'm always so lazy and I always forget. Like I always have the photos, but then I never make a story out of it. So I was determined to do the story. So
were you kind of in charge of the food on this trip? You seem to.
Yeah, we had sourced. I had sourced a lot of places from my various sources. But yeah, I had an amazing burger. We went to a really nice restaurant. We did hot chicken twice.
Yeah,
which is amazing. It's like my new favorite thing. Pimento cheese is like my new favorite condiment for everything. I'm like running to Murray's Cheese Shop to get pimento cheese.
Were you in Louisville?
We were in Louisville the whole time.
Did you get out into the countryside?
Yeah, we went to a horse farm where American Pharoah, the last Triple Crown winner, was trotted out to us. It's actually a funny story. Landsberg, my friend Mike Landsberg, set it up under the ruse of he was an investor looking to put some money into a horse.
Amazing.
So we're like 10 idiots, and the woman comes and like dog and pony showed the American Pharoah, this legendary horse for us, like walked it in a circle, showed it to us. We all took pictures with it. And then we met a lot of its mares, like a lot of its offspring.
Impressive. When you're looking at American Pharoah, you're thinking like, that's a champion, or you're like, that's a horse?
I was like, let me see the goods.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful bit. I mean, it's incredible to look at like a horse that's in that kind of shape and that's successful.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Still in good shape, even. Not like an offensive lineman who's gained 60 pounds.
It's not at
not
like Terry Bradshaw.
Tony Gwynn.
Like limping around.
That's a bad one, but Barkley, yeah.
And then the next day, and then we went to the track also. We saw Churchill Downs. They have a big Barbaros statue outside.
Yeah. I went to the other track in Lexington. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, so that was fun. Yeah. Putting like small amounts of money on horses.
Were you there during the Preakness? No?
The Preakness happened while we were there, but we weren't at Churchill Downs for the Preakness.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But anyway, it was a wonderful trip. I recommend it highly. I found Louisville to be like Austin probably was in the year 2000 before like it became Hollywood adjacent.
How much bourbon did you drink? Because I know you're not a huge bourbon guy, but did you force yourself?
Well, I had a great. I think I could confidently say on this podcast publicly that an old fashioned is like my official drink now.
Okay, yeah.
I can stomach those. I had like one with dinner, and then when we did the trail, they regulate it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't go crazy like at a wine tasting where you're like, fill it up.
Yeah.
It's like 1 ounce in a shot glass.
If you go to several, yeah.
You go to several, but like you're getting very little amounts every time.
You got a driver, I assume.
So we went to 3 different, varying sized distilleries.
What was the small one you went to?
It was called Three Boys.
Three Boys Farm. That's the
you
place
went
I
there?
recommended.
Oh, yeah.
Did you do the barrel thing where he taps
did the barrel
Great.
thing. He like basically drops it right in your mouth.
That is the most. I'm so glad you did that.
It's just a guy in a barn.
That was my recommendation.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad that you did
We
that.
did it. It was wonderful.
That was like quite an experience because, some of them are like the bigger.
Yeah, look online. Three Boys Farm.
Great.
And he produces.
That's where I bought my one bottle.
I basically drank like fire.
Yeah. It's right out of the barrel.
It was like moonshine.
Yeah. But
anyway, wonderful trip. Can't recommend it enough. Shout out to Airbnb. We had a great house.
Yeah.
Hot chicken. If you find it, eat it. It's like the best shit ever.
I'm glad you ate
Pimento cheese.
Good. Nice. Great.
Stay away from edibles and caffeine.
The edibles together?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, for off the pod, we'll talk about it. No wonder you ate hot chicken twice.
Yeah. But
all right. Anything else about the trip, or we want to take a break and get to the guests?
No.
Okay.
I'm good.
Great. I'm glad you had fun. Let's take a break and we'll get to our guest. For you, the listeners of Sorry I've Been So Busy, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. You can download any book you want. You could download Jensen Karp's book, Kanye West Owes Me $300, his great memoir about being a white teen rapper. We had Jensen on the podcast to talk about his book, and it was awesome, and he's a super interesting guy, so check that out. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/SIBSB. Again, that's audibletrial.com/SIBSB for your free audiobook. And we're back with her. Andrew, please introduce our guest for today.
This is so exciting.
I haven't met before.
Our wives work together. This is how this came about. But he's
at NASA.
At NASA.
Yeah.
Our guest is a very talented writer and
edit that out. I realized I picked a random place. Like, I was just like, what's the funniest place for two people to work? And I'm thinking NASA. It'd be crazy. And then it makes it sound like what I'm saying.
Oh, women could never work at NASA.
Well, it also makes it sound like I'm saying what they do is the opposite of NASA, but I was not trying to say that.
Our guest is offended.
I was originally going to say strip club. And
I was going to come in with a Hidden Figures joke.
There you go.
Also works. Well, there's the voice of our guest. Very talented writer, very talented podcaster, writer for WSJ Online.
Magazine.
In
print.
There you go. WSJ Magazine, and former writer for Grantland and
Sneakers the Book.
And Sneakers the Book.
The author.
Howie Kahn.
That's me. Hi, guys.
Thank you.
It's good to be in the room.
Sorry for the topsy-turvy introduction.
No, it really got away from me.
The chemistry in here is electric.
It's palpable, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is cool. Look, we've been together at a bunch of events.
We have been.
Because of our wives.
We've eaten well together.
We've eaten well together, and every time we sort of like hug it out to say goodbye to each other, I'm always like, yo, you got to come on the pod. So it's fine. It's finally here. We're doing it. This is exciting.
Last time you were holding a box of pastries containing, a week's worth of croissants. It was hard to get that hug in.
Sale we go to every year, and your son is just like the cutest.
He's pretty cute.
How old's your son?
He is just 2.
Oh yeah.
How old's yours?
3-year-old. So,
okay.
Yeah.
What do I have to look forward to?
I mean, is he already into the trucks? Very into
Loves trucks.
Yeah.
All vehicles. Planes, trains, automobiles, anything that spins.
He was a big screamer.
He screams in a crowd.
He had some high-pitched screams, which I thought was adorable.
Yeah. The thing about the bake sale was there were so many people in there. I think it was the first time in his life he ever actually had to wait for something.
Right.
So I think he was
That's
shocked.
tough.
Learning about the...
Yeah.
The 3, it gets
Dealing
better.
with-
My son had to wait in line for about 10 minutes for an ice cream yesterday, and he was very patient.
Well,
That's nice.
when I came over for the Sixers playoff game and we went to get ice cream, Graham walked right in the shop, cut the line, and went, I want vanilla.
Yeah, he knows what he wants. He's not afraid to. And he's kind of cute enough to almost get it, which is
Well, that's the perks of being a toddler.
Yeah. Has he said anything particularly funny yet, too?
He's generally pretty funny.
Yeah.
He says, hi, guys, how you doing?
Yeah.
Like things like
When
that.
they
A lot
say
of
it,
introductory
What was
gestures.
the bit we were doing? If you put your sunglasses on, he goes, cool dude.
Oh, yeah, cool. He does cool dude with sunglasses.
Thumbs up.
Olsen twin style, Full
Love
House
it.
era. Probably now, too. They probably still do it.
Yeah. You got it, dude. Was that it?
You got,
Or you got it, dude.
or
Anything
how
with
rude,
dude.
how rude.
No, that was not the Olsen twins. That was the
That was Stephanie.
That was the middle sister.
I never watched
Matt
Full House.
doesn't know from Full House.
I've never seen a full episode.
That's actually
Jamie
crazy.
gave me permission. I can safely say on the podcast, we're having a boy in October.
Yay!
So when I said I'm having Howie on the podcast, she's like, "Oh, you got to talk about fatherhood and turning 40."
We can talk about these things.
Because I just turned 40. I'm having a kid in October. So how's being a 40-year-old dad?
I'm a new 40-year-old dad. I just turned 40 a couple weeks before
Mazel.
you
Congrats.
did. The wisdom I have so far is it's easier to be 40 than to think about being 40.
Oh, I like that.
Now, the lead up to 40 was rough for me.
Yeah, thinking about it. It doesn't compute to me. Like, I work with very young people at Complex, and
Teens.
everybody went out, they were like, "Oh, your birthday, what are you, 28?"
They don't understand anything on the other side of 35.
I told them I was 40, and like minds were blown.
Did they take away your building ID?
Yeah, they're like, "Get out of here!
They're
You're
like,
way too
"You're-
old to be making
you're
a
outta
hip hop
here."
late night show."
The good thing about living in New York, I don't know, what neighborhood are you in?
We live in Dumbo.
Yeah, so you'll always on a Saturday or Sunday, if you're out for enough time, you'll always run into a much older dad. You have a 2-year-old. You'll see them, and then you feel better about your own ability to
That's
handle
true.
it.
There's always someone less equipped to do these things
Yes.
than me. That's one of the good things about New York City, just by the numbers.
Well, that's how I kind of made. What would be the form of the word logic?
Logicked.
That's how I logic. That's how I rationalize. Just like fears of being a parent is like millions and millions of people have done it for centuries. I'm pretty sure I can figure it out.
The early stuff isn't that hard. The early stuff is really reflexive. You'll start to feel like your animal self really coming out. Maybe I don't know
Instincts
how
just
in
kick
tune
in.
you are with your inner animal or your spirit animal, but I wasn't in tune with either one of those things. And when I first became a dad, I felt like, oh,
Well, you should see me at an old country buffet.
Yeah.
That animal comes out.
I actually, that's interesting you said. I've had kind of the opposite experience where the new baby stuff, I was very scared and nervous, and then once he got older, I was like, oh, I got this. Like,
Yeah.
I know
Well,
exactly
new babies
what-
are small
Yeah,
and
yeah.
delicate. Although my child never seemed small or delicate.
Yeah.
He just came out like 40 pounds and was just ready to go.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
He's
I'm not
huge.
speaking out of turn when I say
No,
he's a big boy.
he's huge. He's
I was 9 pounds 12 ounces, but now I'm like a tiny.
That's pretty good.
40-year-old.
You write about food professionally, right?
I do.
So
it is a thing I
has
cover.
this rubbed off on your son in terms of like, has he a good appetite? Does he have a wide?
Well, he's
range of-
hungry, but he's pretty picky. He's vegetarian. He will not touch meat.
Oh, really?
He's
Will
very
not-
trendy.
Will not go near it.
Yeah.
If you give him a chicken finger, he will systematically pick off and eat the breading, but not the
He's
chicken
on
himself.
He's on.
He would not have fit in on my trip.
No.
He's
no.
on FODMAPs. No, I don't know.
no FODMAPs for him.
Yeah.
You can't do FODMAPs
Yeah.
until you're 4.
Oh, okay. So he will pick the chick. So he doesn't eat meat.
He's a carbivore.
Yeah.
All bread things.
Wow.
All the time. Pizza, pasta, mac and cheese,
Yeah.
grilled cheese, string cheese,
Oh, yeah.
dairy too.
That's interesting. My son loves basically meat and rice and pasta. Was not at all into like any yogurt or purees like other kids were, and he would eat peas and broccoli for a while, but now it seems like vegetables are. He eats a ton of fruit.
Same. A lot of fruit. Loves the fruit.
What is
Raspberries
it?
right now.
Why? What is it biologically where they know that fruit and vegetables are different? And it's like,
Yeah.
why was it that they?
It's
will
a great
eat,
question
they'll eat
because
all the fruit.
I'm
but none of the
40 and I
vegetables?
still have there's the division. It's like going to an Orthodox synagogue. There's a mechitza. Like
I don't know.
I'm good
I don't
with
know-
the fruit.
I don't know
I'm
what
bad
it
with
is,
the
like,
vegetables.
How they know looking at like an apple and a beet that like one is considered societally like scary and one is like, oh, just dive right in. Like I
Do you
don't
think
know
it's
why.
about the social norms, or do you think it's about what the things taste like?
I have no idea.
yeah,
That's, like,
is
it's
it
fascinating
nature or
to
is
me.
it nurture with that?
I mean, Henry.
Like you look at a tomato and you look at an apple, and
Yeah.
why is one super?
Yeah, or like
Like
you
it's
know,
something you would slice up and put in a bag for their lunch.
Yeah.
And a tomato is like you would never do that.
Henry gets all excited about tomatoes, actually, but he hates them. So
really?
he sees them
He
like in
just-
a salad or something. He says, tomato, tomato, tomato. We give him the tomato.
It's a fun word to say.
He puts the tomato in his mouth and he just spits it right out.
And I read also your Grub Street diet where you said your son
Thank you
likes
for
to-
reading my Grub Street
Yeah,
diet.
I read all of them. So, but he likes to grind the coffee, which
He does. He loves the sounds.
Yeah.
I bought him a little toy espresso maker that he likes to play with.
oh nice.
He
It's a
says
huge, that's a
he's-
big toy in Brooklyn.
Yeah, huge in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I got
Brooklyn
it.
kids love fake grinding coffee.
They give it to you when you cross over the bridge for the first
Yeah.
time with your newborn child. It's a fun fact
Put on
about
this.
Brooklyn.
Put on this stickum mustache, curly Q mustache, and here's a baby. Yeah.
His first words were, "That'll be $6."
Yeah.
Seven.
Yeah.
You must buy something to use the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, not at Starbucks anymore.
But you brought up the Grub Street diet. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
The Grub Street diet column is one of the inspirations for this podcast, so I think it's very fitting that we have somebody who
It's my most
sat for it.
successful piece of work.
And you didn't write it.
No, I did. You write your own Grub Street diet.
you did?
I think that's the
They put somebody else's name on it.
Well, someone writes the intro. A New York Magazine writer writes the intro at the top. But I think, and I'm sure they probably write it for people who can't write. But
Right.
for writers, like if you can't write your Grub Street diet and you expect the New York
Yeah.
Magazine writer to write it, I don't
Like
know.
if Trump
what
does
fun
the
is
Grub
that?
Street diet, somebody else ghostwrites it.
Yeah, Jeffrey Toobin wrote mine.
Nice. Yeah, no, I love the. I'm always been a big. Like we've talked about it a million times, but love hearing what people do all day.
I would love to see a Tubin Grub Street diet. Has Tubin,
Yeah.
Matt, you're the expert, has Tubin done a Grub Street diet?
I don't know. This is my favorite Tubin thing. Was
I've listened to like 4 podcasts with him in the last
Yeah.
couple months, and now I'm like obsessed with him.
Yeah. Well, the hilarious thing is like the guy wrote the book on OJ, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, like probably the definitive book on the OJ trial. Meanwhile, like I remember, whatever it was 6 months ago, OJ's getting out of prison, and it's like, imagine like you're Jeffrey Toobin 10 years ago, OJ's getting out of prison, and you're talking about Trump. Like you would have never predicted that. Like he wasn't even. OJ wasn't even on his radar.
He's the Vincent Bugliosi
Yeah.
of the OJ trial.
Yeah, he is.
Look that up, children.
What? How did you get into? I mean, have you always been a big food guy, or how did you get into food writing specifically?
When I started working at GQ magazine, I started fact checking for the main food critic there, who I was a big fan of at the time. They kind of asked, who wanted to fact check this food column. I'd had a good food job in college. I sold cheese.
You went to Michigan?
I went to Michigan. I worked at Zingerman's Deli.
Oh, this is amazing. So I just listened to the Sklar brothers on Doughboys. Mm-hmm. And they talked about Zingerman's as if it was like they call it the best deli in the country.
It's up there. That's best deli in the country.
You should listen to the Sklars on Grub Street. They do a full 10 minutes on Zingerman's.
I'm in.
So what was your job at Zingerman's?
I
want to go there now. I'm like booking my flight to Ann Arbor.
You should go there. It's really close. I helped open the store on Sunday mornings. So for whatever reason, my senior year of college, I decided to have a job that required me to work at 5:30 a.m. on Sundays. I think it kind of gets into something we'll talk about later in terms of blowing people off. It gave me a reason to be like, I don't really want to go to that tonight. It's like the fourth year of college. It was.
So you opened it on Sundays?
Yeah. So, I'd bring in the bagels from outside and load up the bins.
What a smell.
Yeah, it smelled great. I can cut smoked fish like nobody's business.
Really?
I still have this skill. Nice flexible knife. I sold raw milk cheeses.
That's great.
Cut a bread for
at the deli.
At the deli. So it's an old building, and inside at the front of the building is all the retail stuff. So to the left is your cheese case and your smoked fish and your cured meats, and to the right is it's called the bread box. It's basically like a penalty box from which you sell bread. Behind that are like the canned goods and the pastas, and then in the back,
Samuelson is in it.
Sure,
Ulf and Shel
3
Samuelson.
minutes for high sticking.
Both Samuelsons. And then in the back, you order your sandwiches. There's ready-made food, too, and next door there's a coffee shop. It's a great place.
That sounds amazing.
It was a great job.
Their description and your
so
description,
much.
now I'm like booking a flight to Ann Arbor.
You should.
I want to go.
You should.
So that sort of exposed you to the food world.
That exposed me to everything. I mean, I grew up in a family with some good cooks, but it was like, Jewish style grandma cooking, which was great. And at Zingerman's, it was food from all over the world, and people told amazing stories about where the stuff was from, and I thought, this is cool. Like, you can tell stories through food. I was not sure what I was going to do career-wise at that point, but I always liked to eat.
Yeah. I saw, going through your clips, you did a bunch of stuff for GQ. Like, you did a burger article at one point, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I definitely fact-checked some burger stuff. I mean, I was at GQ 2004 through maybe 2010, and that was kind of like media's wake up to burgers.
Right.
Of course burgers are awesome, but
it definitely hit at like 2010. It definitely, because when I moved here, it was like Corner Bistro was like the cool spot.
Yeah, you went to Corner Bistro,
but
J.G. Mellon's, PJ Clark's.
Yeah, now if you say Corner Bistro, it's like, I'm so bored. It's like, there's 75 other burgers you have to eat before you get to Corner Bistro.
Well, it's the same thing as saying like you're 40 and the kids at Complex. They're like, what's corner what?
Yeah.
What's a bistro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That place doesn't even have
it's so funny.
Instagram live story time.
I think the only way it survives now is that you can get that burger at 3 a.m.
I haven't been there in years.
You can get it late night, but it doesn't hold up against everything that's happening now in the world.
Do you find, though, that as you've gotten older, you now tend to go towards, like I saw for your birthday on your Instagram, you went to the Beatrice Inn.
Oh yeah, okay.
Right?
So Beatrice,
and had that burger.
So I've had a Post-it note that has been updated and updated and updated. I've had a burger list, and Beatrice Inn has like almost been the white whale. Like
it's really amazing.
I've just never been there.
Yeah.
And then I got into the Gotham Burger Social Club, and they rave about it. But I got in after they had done it, and they always talk about how great it is. And so when Jamie was like, "Where do you want to go?" I was like, honestly, Beatrice Inn. She's like, really? Because it's large format. It's not for two people. You have to go, to go there with two people is insane.
No, it's for a table of 40 bankers.
Yeah, it's insane. So, but the burger was amazing. If you, at Goldstein Andrew on my Instagram, you'll see it. It's in the last couple weeks.
It's like going to Carmine's on a date.
It's insane. Why would you Exactly.
We used to bring in Carmine's at GQ for late night late night closes, like these giant trays of baked ziti the copy editor.
Did you feel pressure at GQ to like dress up nice when you went to work? I feel like I'd have to, like at Complex now, the sneaker game, and we'll talk about your book. The sneaker game is insane.
It is insane.
And I feel pressure. Like I love sneakers, but I'm not spending money on I'm not spending more than $100 like ever on sneakers. But I feel the pressure of like I need to keep up. Everybody's got Jordan 3s on.
Yeah, well, at Complex, a lot of people are being sent sneakers, so they're not paying for their shoes either.
But at GQ, did you feel like, oh, I can't really wear this wrinkled flannel shirt?
Yeah, I learned a lot there. I mean, I learned that men's fashion can be kind of like simple and straightforward, and you can have 3 things in your wardrobe and still look perfectly great as long as they fit.
Yeah. Fit is a thing you need to learn as an adult.
Fit's the big thing.
I generally find that being in a relationship with or someone who knows what they're doing is usually the most helpful thing for that, as opposed to
exactly.
I mean, that's the thing. I think the men who need like fashion tips are sort of just like single guys, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think but
you get the significant other's eye on you.
Yeah. Do you are you still mostly writing about food for WSJ?
I read about food. I read about travel. Occasionally art.
Art?
Yeah, occasionally art.
Do you know about art?
Sometimes. Yeah. No, I do. I wrote about art for the New Yorker too. I used to do those little capsule gallery reviews a long time ago.
Man, that is something where it's like wouldn't even know where to start.
You ask questions.
I guess so. Yeah,
it's the same thing as anything else. Men's fashion. Yeah, selling cheese. You learn as you go.
The sneaker thing is fascinating to me because that's just something I never. It's like you with the wrestling, where like I know that some people are just obsessed with it, and it just completely missed me somehow.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering like how somebody.
You've never had a pair of sneakers that you've really loved or got excited about, even as a kid?
Here's the thing. I just did for the first time in the last year, and it's the most boring thing ever. But it's not.
But not to you.
It's not. It's not a cool sneaker. But it's the first time ever I found a sneaker that I liked, and I went looking for it. I'm not wearing them now. I went looking for it. It was gone. And then I found out how to get them back, and I got them, and I saved them, and it's literally, and a lot of guys are into this sneaker because I see a lot of guys wearing them. It's the J. Crew Nike Kill Shot.
Those are cool.
Which is
they just came out again.
Yeah, they just came out again, and I got another pair, and it's the first. But I mean, it's the most boring reason, which was
just like, watching you say J. Crew Nike Kill Shot like made my day.
It was good. It lasted for. They were great, and they were so comfortable, and I wore them out, and then I tried to get other shoes that looked and felt similar, and none of them were as good, and so
gotta have the Kill Shot.
And so I was like, when I found out they were coming back, I was like, I literally had a J. Crew like call me when the 10.5s were in, and they did, and I went and I got, it was.
You should buy all the pairs.
I should have bought more than
As
one
my
pair.
dad would say, get them in every color.
Exactly.
Yeah, I should have.
I said that to my wife yesterday. Get it in every color.
Can you tie a bow tie?
Can I tie a bow tie? No.
I
can't. I can't tie a bow tie.
Question. Can't do it. My wife or sister-in-law always has to do it for me.
The bow tie I wore to my wedding was not a tie I had to tie myself.
Yeah, mine was a. It's like not the clip-on, but it's
it comes around. It comes around the back.
Clip in the back. Yeah, that's what
I got it at a reputable place.
Yeah,
I felt good about it.
Yeah.
So the sneaker book. Tell me about that, just because it is such a world that I dabble in, but not even close to what people. I mean, I live near Flight Club and lines every day.
Yeah,
and then working at Complex, I'm learning so much every day.
That's the best place to learn this. Just looking at people's feet.
Yeah,
at a place like Complex where people are obsessed.
Were you into sneakers as a kid?
I was definitely into sneakers as a kid. I mean, I wasn't the obvious choice to co-write a book about sneakers. It was kind of a lucky opportunity, but I'm so glad it came up because I got way back into it, way more than I ever was as a kid. It's a problem now.
I remember getting the Jordans with the I don't know how to describe it on a podcast, but it had the lace. They were like 3/4 black cement, but not the 3s. And then they had the like 8-hole thing for the laces at the ankle.
They were the 4s.
Yeah, I think it's the 4s. Yeah. So I got those as a kid.
Yeah.
Because my dad took me to South Street, and I went in one of those stores where the sneakers are wrapped in plastic, and I just pointed at them. I was like, those look so cool, and I got them. But then, and then as I got older, I like felt bad about like spending money on sneakers. So I had good stuff, but I never, and then when I was in charge of my finances, I had periods where I went and did stupid things with buying sneakers. But then I got really into Rod Lavers for a long time. Went through
So
a
did
phase
I.
where I had every color. And I searched for odd colors that like weren't sold, because it was green and blue. And then now I'm into Stan Smiths. Like I'm just constantly buying new pairs of Stan Smiths because they're impossible to keep clean.
I wore nothing but Rod Lavers from probably 2004 to 2012.
Yeah. And then I got really into Air Maxes.
Yeah, I'm wearing those now.
How many pairs of sneakers do you own, and how many did you pay for?
I don't have an impressive amount of sneakers. I mean, I have limited space. When I started working on the book, I probably had like 2 pairs, and now I probably have like 40.
Oh.
And how many did I pay for? Probably all of them. I mean, no one's given me.
Even though you wrote the book, you're not getting people like, hey, if you're writing another one.
I mean, because of the Wall Street Journal stuff, I can't take stuff anyways. If I want to continue.
What's that term in politics?
Gerrymandering.
No, the taking gifts for
Payola.
No payola for me. Like if I want to continue,
Who did
because
you-
occasionally I'll write a story about
That's
Adidas or Nike or
Who
whatever.
are the other people you wrote the book with?
My friend Alex French.
Yeah.
And a designer named Rodrigo Corral.
Because the book looks like a.
It's like
There's a
Kramer's
shoebox on the front.
It's like Kramer's coffee
Yeah,
table
there's
book.
a cool white shoebox. It kind of looks like a Common Projects box in a way. It says the word sneakers in gold. Cool 2-color. Well, it's a 4-color cover, but it's the background of that is red and orange.
And it's a visual, like you have to see it. It's like a coffee table.
It's definitely worth seeing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
no
go for
audio.
I wouldn't go for the audio version.
Is there an audio version?
No, they asked us if we wanted to do one pretty late in the game. And yeah, I did want to do one, but it was really complicated because it wouldn't be just a straight reading of the book. It would have had to have context and narrative, and it would have been a good podcast, actually.
What's amazing, like if you read the reviews and the pull quotes, I mean, people say it's the Bible. It's like this. It's the sneaker book Bible.
We got great press. We were really lucky in that way.
It's really cool.
Good PR.
How do you feel about the fly knit generation?
I have some Flyknit shoes. I just bought some new ones the other day under the guise of I'm 40 now. I'm going to have to start running and going to the gym and stuff. I think they're good. They're good for the environment. They look nice.
The Air Max 1 Flyknits.
I have those.
I'm dying for them to be re-released because I would say they're the best sneakers I've ever owned. And
Comfortable,
I
right?
want every color. But now that you can't, and I'm a 9, so like eBay, it's always like 12.
Right. Well,
Size
9's a
10,
sample
12.
size. I mean, you should be able to get 9s pretty easily.
I just want them to be re-released, but I feel like everything's going Flyknit light, and sometimes it's like too light, and I'm wearing a sock.
Cold in the winter.
Yeah.
They're not accounting for people commuting by foot in New York City.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
What's the deal with New Balances now? Are those still Nazi shoes, or what's the?
Well, the CEO of New Balance or someone pretty high up cut a check to the Trump campaign for a lot of money.
But then also the alt-right came out and they were claiming that they were.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't own a single pair of New Balance.
So SNL did the commercial parody a few years ago, where basically calling them out as dad sneakers.
Right.
And that was in what's it called? Crazy Stupid Love.
Yeah.
Where
so
he
I
picks
had
his-
like
and he
3
throws
pair of
his-
New Balances. Then I saw that I was like, I can't wear these anymore.
But dad sneakers are the thing right now.
Well, dad hats, and then Steph Curry came out with the dad sneakers.
Yeah,
and
I saw
everybody
those.
roasted them for a long time, but now people love that shit.
Yeah, the dad sneakers are a big thing. Shoes with big midsoles, lots of weird
normcore.
colors. Yeah, normcore, dadcore.
I used to wear New Balances around, and now I only wear them at the gym. And they are the only running shoes that I wear at the gym. I mean, they're very comfortable,
Man,
but I don't wear them with jeans.
I remember being a kid, and the first Nikes that came out with the see-through bubble on the sole was just the coolest. Yeah, the coolest thing.
The original Air Max was in '87.
It was so.
It's the first time you could see the air.
I could go nerdy, but those new 270s are so cool.
I
But
saw them-
I feel like as a 40-year-old, they're way too cool. I can't wear them.
I saw a guy wearing them today, and I was so obsessed with them. I followed him like around the block, like you would follow like a girl or something when you were 23. And I'm following these shoes, thinking how cool they look.
The
on
yellow
this
and
dude.
black ones are super cool.
These
Anyway,
were the ones
we
with
can
the
move-
pink bubble. Oh.
One other fatherhood question I wanted to ask you, because we did talk about like getting in shape and running, and getting down on all fours to like clean up toys and play, and then getting back up. I feel like that's going to be an issue for
So
me.
here's my big tip while
do squats.
your wife is pregnant. Get your lower back in shape.
Okay.
It's not squats could help. Do some mat Pilates, maybe some bird dogs, and do some planks.
Okay.
Wow.
I think I was a page with Matt Pilates. Kidding. How do
Whatever happened to him?
You feel like you're not. You said it's not really bad for you.
No, I don't have
Getting up, getting down, because I got the dog and I got to go under the couch to grab a toy, and it's like look, I
have a lot of problems, and that, for whatever reason, that's not one of them.
all right.
That's good. Has your back ever gone out?
No, it's never gone out. I've never had a lower back.
Matt had
I've
a
had
pinky issue.
I had a pinky issue.
Left or right?
Left that a cortisone shot took care of, and I've had some. I'll sometimes wake up in the middle of the night with like sharp pains in my legs or feet, but I never have had back.
You might have gout.
I could. Yeah. Could be.
Get that lower back in shape.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, we could get into his
let's
day.
get into his day.
I have one thing I want to do at the very end, so we got to save time for
Okay.
something special.
Do you want to pick a recent day that was interesting, or you want to do a typical
you
day?
got to talk about your day.
Let's do a typical. Well, I don't know how typical the days are.
Okay. Was there a day this week or last week that was particularly that it was either interesting or it was just representative of what a day in your life is like?
I mean, we may as well talk about today because we'll get the clearest details.
Let's do it.
Last week, I was telling Andrew I was reporting for a new book that I can't really talk about.
Oh, well then
It's a cool idea. That's all I'll say.
So you have a 2-year-old. So what time did you wake up this morning?
This morning, he slept in. He slept till 7:20 this morning.
Wow.
It was
good.
pretty much like a honeymoon. It was like being on vacation. It was fantastic. And then he woke up in a really good mood.
Oh, great.
Which doesn't always happen these days. Sometimes he likes to, show off in the morning or grab for attention or something like that. But this morning he woke up in a super good mood. He wanted to play games. This color game where you put like little colored dots into like holes in a sailboat on something that looks like a Connect Four board.
Wow.
That was pretty fun. We did that for like an hour.
You did?
Yeah.
Now, when you're playing a game
That was
like
a good morning.
That is a good game because, like, are you able to, like, focus and not look at your phone when that's happening or not be distracted when you're playing?
Yeah, I whatever's happening on my phone that early in the morning is not going to be that important.
I know, me too. But my problem, I'm always that something like that sounds like it could hold my attention. The hard thing is to find something that holds your attention and a 2-year-old's attention.
Totally.
A lot of time he just wants to like pretend with trucks, and I'm just like,
You know what I find is if I get into the game that he's actually playing, I usually like it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the reason like coloring is good for adults or whatever, like soothes the brain waves and makes you think more clearly throughout the day. So if I don't have my phone to check, I'm better off. Also, if I do have my phone, he's at the age now where he'll want it. So I'll intentionally leave it where he's not, so he doesn't start the day with Play-Doh videos or whatever.
3 is a good age, by the way. You can start with like Candyland and Chutes and Ladders, which are fun.
Like games with narrative.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
So you're right out of bed playing a game.
I get really excited to get him out of the crib. I get really excited to like see him in the morning because I've basically like, woken up every 2 or 3 hours during the night to make sure he's still breathing. Get ready.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Still?
Yeah.
Wow.
I have problems.
Yeah.
That's what you were alluding to earlier?
Well, about what? Anxiety?
About, like, being up at 5 a.m. and
Yeah, I mean, I'm always rolling out of bed to go check him, or I sometimes on the little Nest Cam you can actually hear the breathing, so that's always helpful. It's nuts. No matter where I am in the world, that's the fun thing about the Nest Cam too, is you can see him from. I'm in like Germany reporting a story, and I'm like watching him sleep like a psycho.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would check that, but once he got to a certain age, I no longer worried about the being awake at night. But that's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, if I happen to be up to pee, which is usually several days times a night. So you woke up at 7:20. You played for an hour.
I was up a little bit before that because
Okay.
I was anticipating his wake up.
You were just standing over the crib.
I was just hovering, watching. I actually have like a trapeze like harness, so I can actually like Mission Impossible.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is there a breakfast situation? Like, is there like you're making him breakfast?
We were doing pancakes for a long time, like every day, every single day, which was really fun. Lately, he hasn't been as hungry in the morning, so we did raspberries, we did toast, we did a banana.
And you're nibbling.
That was fun.
Off of
I don't have much of it.
him?
No, I don't have much of an
I'm the
appetite
same way.
in the
I don't like
morning.
to eat in the
I'm
morning.
not a big eater, so the food goes directly to him or to my wife or whoever. Wants to partake.
Former guest of the pod, John Murray of Stuckey and Murray. If you look at his
Yeah.
Instagram. He does pancake art for his kids.
That's awesome.
So he's been doing but mostly Star Wars. So he'll do like a pancake Millennium Falcon.
I like that. I like a pancake Death
He's
Star.
like the Mr. Crisp of pancakes, not for sale, just for his kids.
Kimmel does pancake art too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Murray's like really good at it.
Does he have a mold, or does he just
He does it.
put it down?
Yeah, he just
freeform.
I think he puts it down freeform, and he uses like colors somehow.
Huh.
I don't really know his method. I've never.
That's
I
pretty
haven't
cool.
asked him, but if you look at his Instagram, it's pretty great. John
I'm going to
Murray.
try a Chewbacca tomorrow morning.
Yeah. So you're doing pancakes, berries, toast. Are you like coffee?
Yeah, I'm coffee. Espresso in the morning.
Espresso. That's insane.
It doesn't even work anymore. That was
Right,
that-
okay, so that's the thing.
another big difference.
For me, it's a special thing, and it really hits me
because you're not a caffeine drinker.
You're used to it. You coffee every morning, like 3 times.
Can't
a day.
even be espresso. It has to be drip coffee.
Right.
like a French press.
We do French press. Yeah.
Yeah, really strong.
Yes.
The first
2 to 3
espresso in
cups.
the morning now is just it's just maintenance. It doesn't really do anything other than keep me moving for the first half hour.
Right.
And today I think I had 4 more.
Throughout the day?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a lot. Today was a big caffeine day.
I would be. I mean, I guess my body would get used to it, but if I did 3 espressos in a day, I would be. I don't even know where I would end up.
Probably drink
It's
way
really-
more than the equivalent of that.
I mean, you guys have a dog though, so you're used to like waking up at certain points and taking him out and going for a walk or something like that. So I don't know. Maybe your sleep won't change as drastically as mine did.
No, it will. I'm a big napper.
Yeah.
All I want to do is be asleep.
Well, with a baby, you're going to have ample opportunity to take naps.
Yeah. But then it's, you could take a million naps a day. Waking up at 3 a.m. still hurts.
It's true.
That is the one thing where I thought it was going to be worse than it was about having a kid, and I did get used to it very fast because.
Well, it's just more time for you to be on your phone.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. What happened
Sadly,
was,
Twitter's not fun from the hours of 3 a.m. to 6 a.m.
yeah, you'd be surprised. But what happened was for some reason, I've always needed a lot of sleep. And so I always felt that I did. And so then when my son was born, I made a deal with my wife. I was like, okay, you'll do all the like night wake ups during the week when I'm working. And then on the weekends, I'll do all the night wake ups and like do bottle, whatever. Literally that lasted one night where she had to wake up 3 times and she was like, I can't do this.
Yeah, no more.
And so I got into the routine of doing they were usually like 3 and I would do the middle one. So she would do like, midnight and I would do like 3 and then she would like wake up with him at 6 or whatever. And it's very zen almost. It's like 3, you almost like are sort of like mid sleep doing it. You just like wake up. I would put on Sports Center because it was the only thing
it just replays.
And you can't
I feel like half of SportsCenter's ratings now are just dads at 3 a.m. watching
it's
the replay.
the only people because
Probably.
you can't watch anything. Like I think I tried one time to watch something that I had to focus on, and you can't because you need too much of your focus on what you're doing, and so like it's just literally background noise. You really can't even look at your phone because you need both hands.
Right.
But
So then
phone free.
Then what happens in your day?
So then is the challenge of like trying to get out of the house.
Right. You get out.
Me getting out of the house to
So
go to work.
What is he in some kind of school?
The nanny comes and hangs out with him and takes him to the park or
And
to
then
go
you're
to
able
classes
to-
or whatever, and then she comes at 8:30.
you go to an office.
I go to a WeWork.
Yeah.
WeWork opened
Cool.
up the street around the same time my son was born, which was a nice thing of them to do for me.
Yeah.
You go to a WeWork just as...
Well, actually, I stop and get coffee. I mean, if we're gonna get into
Yeah,
the minutia
please.
here, we stop for a coffee before we get to the WeWork.
More coffee.
More
Beyond what
coffee.
you've
Where's
done.
A
this
bigger
from?
coffee. Bluestone Lanes, which is next to the WeWork.
Yeah.
So I stop in there.
When you say we, who's we? Who
We is just me. I feel.
It's like in TV when you're like,
team.
tonight we have. It's like really.
I feel immense in the morning. I feel like I contain.
Do you
multitudes.
get any like pastry or?
I try to.
coffee?
I try not to. I try to give into the pastry once a week.
Got it. Yeah, you're allowed. You
Like
deserve it.
a reward pastry for
And then you take
making
your
it to
coffee
Friday.
into the WeWork.
Take the coffee.
WeWorks have like a kitchen situation.
WeWork has beer on tap, and WeWork has coffee from La Colombe, I think, but it always tastes burned, and it's always that kind of,
Right.
brewed coffee that's been sitting
I've
around
never
for a
worked in
while.
one, but I visited a friend of mine in one, and they have like the jugs with the water with the lemons
Yeah,
in
the
it.
fruit's made all pretty by the lemons,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I bring my own water.
So you hang out there how long?
If I can stay at my computer all day, if I can, write and research and report, I'll stay there from 9 to 6 or 7 or something like that.
What was today?
Today, I had a breakfast meeting at the Bluestone Lanes with a PR person and a travel person and another journalist, and then I went to the office after that. Stayed at the office till 4, and then met an old colleague who was my boss at the New Yorker, who I haven't seen in 14
Are
years.
you leaving in that chunk of time you're at the WeWork? Are you walking out for lunch? Are you ordering lunch in?
Today I did not eat lunch.
Yeah.
I totally botched eating today.
On a general day, will you walk out?
If I
Is
have
that like a fun break in the day? Like, where am I going to get lunch? Because you're kind of your own boss.
you are kind of your own boss. If I have a lot to do, I like bringing my stuff with me. I like bringing like a full day's snack and lunch and a pre-dinner type situation. I don't like stopping.
Got it.
Yeah.
No, it's amazing.
And also, like when you work in a neighborhood, the lunch options start feeling really limited after a while, and to me that just gets depressing. So it's almost like on me to make my midday exciting.
I could write a book about like
Yeah.
Your office and then like finding lunch options.
And
I'm obsessed with lunch options.
Me too, and it becomes a whole conundrum when it gets bad, and then you just want to move to LA, and for lunch, you want to move to LA to get a different lunch.
Now let me ask you a question, because do you see the kid? Do you see your kid during the day, or you generally try to do your own thing and keep?
Sometimes we've run into each other on the mean streets of Dumbo.
Yeah.
Usually no.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll go home to make lunch once in a while, and I'll do that if I know he's napping or something like that.
How do you feel? Because I've always felt like people worry about their productivity when they have kids and not being able to.
I'm worried about my productivity always.
Yeah, but people are worried about they won't be able to like work as hard and do all the things. I've found that I work harder.
I agree.
Because it's the financial stuff, but then also like I feel like if you're paying someone to watch your kid and you don't accomplish anything, or you don't like what you feel like absolute shit, as opposed to like when you don't have a kid and you don't accomplish anything that day, you're like,
doesn't matter.
I'll get it
There's
tomorrow.
no consequences.
Yeah. But it feels crushing to be like, oh, I paid somebody to watch my kid today and I accomplished and I didn't get anything done.
Does that, for me, sometimes that makes it feel like more pressure to get something done in the day, and even if I get something done, that would feel like by old standards I've done a lot.
Yeah. I think it's like, even if you did something, and even if it's like, you checked 5 things off your to-do list that they weren't necessarily like creative, but they were things you couldn't have done if you were watching your kid. You know what I mean? Like,
there's very few things you can get done when you're watching your kid. The extent of things I can get done when I'm watching my kid is I can watch 5 episodes of Bubble Guppies.
Yeah.
I can Peppa Pig, a little bit of Peppa Pig.
We've tried to, like, my wife and I have tried to do things like, let's let him like hang out with us like while we like pick our Airbnb that we're gonna stay on vacation, and even that is like
there's no brain space to like.
No.
I'm sure there's wonderful people who can multitask and do these things.
Yeah.
You know what I can do sometimes with him if he's watching Peppa Pig is Fresh Direct.
Yeah.
You can do a little grocery shop.
He actually likes picking up. My son likes picking up groceries on the app.
Yeah.
I bet what do you want? Yeah, bananas. Yeah,
banana.
Yeah. So, so today you worked straight from 9 to 4. Didn't get lunch.
I didn't get lunch. I had a coconut mango bar situation in my desk. I ate that. It was made by a company called Bearded Brothers, which sounds very Brooklyn-y.
Sure.
They, I think, doubled the price of their bar while knocking the size down by half, which was not
Girl Scout cookies.
Not a great move. Not a great move by the
Girl
Bearded
Scout
Brothers.
cookies now? The box is like half the size it used to be.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it because of
Thin Mints? It's like
do they give you fewer
It used to be
cookies?
this long tube of Thin Mints.
That's
now
true.
it's like 18 Thin Mints.
Damn.
All the girls were making all the cookies. They defected to the Boy Scouts.
Yeah. Well, now they're all. What was the new name?
Scouts BSA.
Yeah.
What is that?
No,
they
the
combined Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts.
No, they didn't combine. The Boy Scouts decided to accept girls without consulting the Girl Scouts, and the Girl Scouts were furious.
What a mess!
It's a big.
What a mess!
Yeah. So, I mean...
That sounds... No.
Well, it makes sense, but, 2000...
Gotta ask the girls.
If you still want to be a Boy Scout without...
what a good lesson to start teaching at that age is? Consent.
Consent. Ask the girls for consent.
You have to. Yeah. So, and then you walked over here, a little abnormal.
Wait, but you met somebody.
Oh, you met somebody.
I met an old boss to talk
cool.
about a book he's working on. He draws restaurants. He's making a book called All the Restaurants in New York.
Really?
He's drawing like 150 restaurants.
Well, there's that artist that does the exteriors of restaurants and sells them. Like I bought.
He sells them.
You walked here?
I did not walk here.
Oh, I thought you said he walked
Ubered here.
Oh, okay.
No.
I thought you said he walked.
Oh, I said you came over here, which is...
No, you did say walked.
Oh, maybe I
Thank
said
you for
walked.
backing me up on that. Appreciate it.
It was a nice day.
You could have.
If I had more time, maybe I would have walked.
I met you on the bench outside Alex's building.
I was enjoying that bench.
It's a very nice bench.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day.
So then, on a normal night, you go home, dinner with...
I did. You know what? I did stop at home before I came over here. I stopped to change my shoes, and I stopped to...
You're like, I got to put on the fresh white Air Maxes for...
I just had a feeling they were the right thing.
You're right. You
for the
picked
moment.
correctly.
Yeah.
How many nights a week do you go out, and how has that changed since you had a kid?
So last week I was reporting a story in another state, so I was gone all week.
Yeah.
I was gone Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and back on Friday. Those trips become shorter. I used to go away for longer periods of time. Now I try to crunch more into less time and always take like really inconvenient flights for me, but ones that are really good for my family, like the one that leaves Nashville at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So I can be home like before he goes out for the
yeah.
day.
My one
or
friend
whatever.
on the Louisville trip Sunday, he was out before, the sun came up
Oh, yeah. That's a dad move.
to get home to San Francisco.
Yeah, well,
see
that
it.
takes all day anyways, before bedtime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taking a later flight because you want to sleep light on getaway days for suckers anyway.
Yeah. That's
Get the earliest flight.
Earliest
sleep
flight
on
out.
the plane. That's my
I
flight.
took a nice 11:55 flight, was home by...
As you should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you
Do
should.
it while you can. And then will you go home after this? Or
I will go home after this.
Yeah.
I will.
Are you hungry? I feel like you...
I am. Well, I when I stopped at home to change the shoes, I stuffed some pita bread in my face and some string cheese.
I wonder where your son gets it from?
Well, I got it from him. I mean,
Right.
I would never in a million years eat string cheese before having a child.
Right, now it's
never
just in the house.
I hadn't ever eaten string cheese in my life. Never.
Polio?
I remember the
Organic Valley,
commercial.
probably.
Give me a
It's
pizza.
the pizza
with
cheese
extra
snack that makes your lips
hold the
smack.
tomato
To take it
sauce.
from this bird, polio is the word.
Wow, we have
polio, spring cheese, word.
We have two different commercials in mind.
That
Mine
was
is the
the-
one where the guy goes, "Give me a pizza with extra cheese, hold the tomato sauce, and hold the crust," and then he opens the pizza box and it's just polio string cheese.
That's incredible.
We have two...
Are you both from Philly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Michigan, we did not have that commercial.
Those were like the first rap bars I ever learned.
Really?
Was
From a
the
string
polio,
cheese
the
commercial?
polio string cheese
Did you see
commercial.
there was
That's
a story
fantastic.
like the other day, like or last week or something, like the average parent eats 150 meals a year standing up or something like that, and I eat 0 meals standing up. I was fascinated by that.
I eat too many meals standing up.
Yeah.
We were visiting my parents a couple weekends ago, and my mom was like, "Why are you eating all your meals standing up?" I'm like, "It's just what I do now. It's
Yeah.
horrible."
One time, Jamie and I went to dinner at Astoria Fish Market. You know that place where you pick your fish and then they make it
Delicious.
So we get in the dining room and the table, this huge Greek family, and the guy at the head of the table was standing up, and then the food came. He never sat down. He ate his whole...
In a restaurant.
In a restaurant,
Huh.
he was eating standing up while his family sat around him seated, eating like...
Did he own the
normal
restaurant?
people. No.
Did he have back problems?
I don't know, but
Maybe
he just...
it's healthy, like a standing desk.
We
Maybe.
talk about it all the time.
Studies prove.
It was remarkable watching this guy like holding court over his family seated, and he was standing just picking at the plate.
I'm so hungry. I can see him like putting those lemony potatoes onto his plate and into his mouth.
It's a great restaurant. It's a really fun dining experience. So how late do you stay
Standing
up?
or sitting.
Well, how late when do you put...
He goes down at 8:30.
Right.
8:30, and then he'll either go right to sleep or sing to himself, which is pretty cute,
Sure.
or pretend he knows how to read and pick up a book and say some words that aren't in the book, although sometimes they are because he has a lot of the books memorized
That happens.
just from being read too, which is fascinating. And then it's try to watch a show or catch up on more work or talk to my wife or ignore each other and look on our phones, which is a common marital pastime, I think, these days.
Do you have a cocktail? Will you have a beverage?
Tonight, no. I almost never drink at home.
Yeah,
I almost never drink at home. I'm treated nicely when we go out.
sure.
So I try to keep it to seltzer in the
Me
house.
too. I'm big. The new Polar flavors dropped.
What are they?
Yeah, cucumber melon's the one I saw on Instagram.
Cucumber melon sounds pretty
That's
good.
exciting.
Yeah.
The seasonal flavors, it's like a holiday for
Sure.
me.
That's a big
Love
deal.
it. Yeah, I'm like kind of into bourbon now, and Jamie's like, you're not going to drink at home. It's like, you're not going to be that guy.
Yeah. Well, bourbon's delicious. Well, you just came back from your weekend.
So
you're influenced by your recent travels.
I understand it now.
My wife drinks at home every
I
night.
totally understand, like wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I drink at home most nights.
I
5,
think
6 nights a week.
she's right. I mean, I'm wrong in this situation.
Well, if you're saying there are nights where you go out and have several as part of an
Yeah.
event or a function,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I rarely do that anymore, and so I sort of more spread it out. I
Yeah.
really have one pretty much almost every night.
And I try to balance it. Like when I'm reporting on food and chefs especially, there's a lot of food during those weeks and during those trips.
Yeah.
So when I'm home, I kind of try to keep it a little healthier.
The few food people we've had on the podcast, I always ask them, what's your like restaurant pet peeve?
It's so easy. When a server says, "Do you know how the menu works here?"
Oh, that's funny.
And
That's a new one. We haven't gotten that
It
one.
happens more and more at more kinds of places, and essentially a menu works the same in
Let me
every
explain to you how the
restaurant.
menu works.
I don't want to be asked how the menu works. I don't want to have it explained to me. I get it. It even says small, medium, and large plates.
Yeah.
I can tell by the prices how big
funny.
portions are. I just don't want that kind of discourse, especially if I'm not working. If I am working, like, go through your spiel.
The one I always forget to bring up is is your whole party here? No.
I hate that too.
Yeah. And then they can't,
'cause
they
it's
can't
like
seat you.
I'm going to sit down and I'm going to start spending money immediately. Like,
Yeah.
do you not want my money now? Is my money better in 5 minutes? Is my money better in 7 minutes? It's just also not nice.
Yeah.
In New York City,
I get it. If you're there like 30 minutes before your reservation, yes, of course. Let's wait for the rest of your party.
right,
But,
of
like,
course. But if you're on time.
Yeah.
Or maybe they should code that by age. Maybe if you're like under 25 and the rest of your party is maybe not so reliable and half the people
Right.
aren't going to show up and they're going to lose money on the table, maybe then no. But it's like if I can produce some kind of like identity that like I'm a dad, I'm meeting some more dads.
Yeah.
We're all going to show up.
We're
We're really
responsible
hungry.
adults.
We're excited to be out on the town. We got a babysitter. I want to sit down. I want to sit down now.
Yeah.
Anywhere that will let you sit down
Yeah.
with your kid when the rest of the party's not there and just immediately order mac and cheese is
Totally.
gold in my book.
Or put the pizza in right away.
Yeah, put it
Yeah.
in right away. Yeah.
I love
And
having
then while the
servers-
adults figure it out,
Having servers who are parents is always a bonus, or a restaurateur who knows like when you walk in with your kid like what the deal is.
Yeah.
I'm surprised restaurants haven't built in an extra to actually seat you at the time of your reservation for like an extra charge. So they don't say to you, "Is your whole party here?" They seat you like for an extra $15 or something
Right.
in your Resi reservation.
That's like an airline philosophy.
It's coming. Yeah, it's coming.
I've increased my tipping since I started dining with my kid. Also.
You have to.
Yeah. 'Cause
I also find
leaving
myself
it like a
like,
shit show, like a.
at what point do you,
Cheerios all over the floor.
at what
La
point do you
Bernardin.
clean up the floor?
Yeah, that is a big thing where
Yeah.
you don't know how.
Like
how,
when do you cross that line?
Yeah. I mean, it is weird because you do know they're going to clean it anyway.
They totally
no matter
are.
How much of a mess you make, but like at a certain point, you do have to sort of, get down there and kind of at least make a passing
Yeah, I think
effort.
there's like a reasonable mess, and then
I
there's
agree.
something that
Yeah.
looked like roadkill or whatever.
Yeah. Do you have anything else? Because I do want to get to the blow off.
Yeah, we'll get to. Let's do the blow up, and then I have one thing.
Okay. Do you have a go-to blow off or time
know you
recently
gotta
when
go.
you've blown somebody off?
I mean, I'm because of work and being a journalist. I think I'm almost disgustingly reliable in
really?
terms of but I love being canceled on. So it's the other
best.
side. Like I love being blown off. I love like when social plans get canceled. I love one of the really good parts about being a dad is when you have plans with other families, they'll get canceled 75% of the time.
Somebody's always
Somebody's
sick.
kid's always sick,
Yeah.
and there's like a real courtesy, or there should be, about like not showing up with your sick kid. That's a pet peeve too, is when people show up with their like really sick kids, or when they're like, "Oh, I have a fever, but it's just 99.5." I'm like, come
Yeah.
on, man. Like
Right.
that's
it's
still
like a
real.
whole new layer I
Yeah.
gotta get used to.
Yeah, that's still real. So I show up, but I appreciate.
I was hoping you would cancel at 98.6.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. 98.7. I'm not showing up. Like,
That's good. So you're like the opposite of the blow off because your profession.
It's just
you
like
have to be reliable.
beat into me because half the trick to reporting is showing up.
Right.
It's like you go.
I know Matt has to get out. I do want to bring up. So you do the Prince Street podcast, which is like a really awesome food centered podcast.
Thanks.
I listen to it often. You've had great interviews.
Thank you.
And you do this thing, the Madeleine Moment.
The Madeleine Moment.
Can you explain the Madeleine Moment? And then I want to see if Matt has one. I have one that I've been saving for you.
So the Madeleine Moment on the show is it's a literature reference. Marcel Proust wrote about biting into a Madeleine, a kind of cookie, and being sort of transported back in time to when he first tried this food, and he sees the whole town and all the memories.
Like the movie Ratatouille.
Yes. Well, the movie
when
Ratatouille.
when he eats the ratatouille and it gets taken back to the
Yeah,
childhood.
he has. I mean, the Ratatouille thing is much more hallucinogenic
version of
than.
I'm just laughing because like Marcel Proust and like transporting back eating a Madeleine cookie. It's like such a Dennis Miller reference. It's like
Yeah.
Marcel
Marcel
Proust
Proust.
eating a Madeleine cookie.
Okay, so
I didn't name. I didn't
Yeah,
name
yeah.
the segment. This.
No, but it's like
it's good.
commonly known
Yeah,
as
yeah,
the
yeah, I
Madeleine
get it. It's
Moment.
hilarious.
Yeah, no,
Right?
I mean
And
it
you've
makes
had-
sense. It's about a very powerful food memory.
It's kind of like all of your guests do it, or some of them, or
We started where we had one per show, and it was usually at the beginning. The idea was to have someone who wasn't a guest on the show do it and have it,
as
be
like
a standalone
Yeah,
segment.
I'm obsessed with the idea. The first time I listened to the podcast, I was like,
'Cause
"Oh
everyone
my God,
has one.
It's such a great thing."
Yeah.
So Matt, you
do yours
I'm
first.
putting you on the spot. You think about so this is so. I have two, but the weird one is it's a bowl of spaghetti
Mm-hmm.
and there's chunks of like chicken in it. I know it sounds weird, but chicken and spaghetti.
yeah.
Immediately, I'm in my grandmother's kitchen. There's a giant pot of like chicken that she's just like ripping pieces off and throwing it in like a bowl of spaghetti. And now, if you go to B&H, which I've been to with Alex, we've got, it's like right around here. It's the it's like the kosher style lunch counter.
Okay.
On their like weekly menu, Friday or like Thursday night is fish cake and spaghetti, which is another like I totally think of my. It was just like she would make bowl of spaghetti. She would make a big thing of spaghetti, and then whatever else she had cooking, she'd like throw in the spaghetti.
I love that.
It like
it's a way of using all the
immediately.
stuff.
I'm in her kitchen in Northeast Philadelphia. My other one is every Monday night in my 20s. Like in college and then after college, I watched Monday Night Raw with Franks and Beans. So if I made hot dogs and baked beans, and I would do it a bunch of different ways, and I would watch wrestling. So Monday nights, I don't do it anymore because it's terrible for you. But like if I eat a hot dog with baked beans, I'm immediately just watching Monday Night Raw.
What
as a
Raw
20-year-old.
era does it bring you back to?
good question.
Yeah, like basically moving to New York. So it's like 2000, which is like great. That was like WCW was on TBS, and you had Raw on USA, and it was like
They were merging.
the end of the Monday Night
Yeah.
Wars, all that good stuff.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so too, but like chicken and spaghetti.
It was amazing.
I know it sounds weird, but
No, it sounds good. It sounds like a dinner option.
I'll give you a third one real quick, then we'll go to Matt. The smell of McDonald's on like a Sunday morning, like that coffee smell, that like McDonald's breakfast smell, immediately reminds me of like pre-Hebrew school.
I like the pre-Hebrew school
Because there was
McDonald's
there was a
ritual, yeah.
McDonald's next to my synagogue. Okay, Matt.
It's a tough one. A lot of the things I ate as a kid or liked as a kid, I don't really like anymore. The thing I kept thinking about was that my wife made beef stew this weekend, and that was just a big kid thing, just like a big pot, just like a big bowl of beef.
Just
stew.
reminds you of being in Debbie's kitchen.
Reminds me of being at home, beef, something like beef, But it's weird.
It's a really cool question. It's good for a car ride, I've found.
It's good for a car
What's
ride.
your Madeleine moment?
I thought it was really interesting too how many peoples were associated with the grandparent.
Oh
yeah.
So many went right for that grandparent moment. Some were grandfathers, some were grandmothers. My favorite one that popped up on the show was we had John Malkovich do one.
Oh, wow.
And it was about a period in his life when he was in high school where he ate nothing but lime green Jell-O. because he was this football player and he wanted to drop weight for a dramatic production.
Wow.
And he gives this whole... I mean, I always wish we had run the uncut tape because he gives this like 15-minute soliloquy about eating
Oh, you should re-release it.
only lime green Jell-O. And I feel like it didn't quite hit like I thought it would. I thought it was just the most amazing thing because, John Malkovich talking about anything, it sounds like...
It's like a masterclass.
Yeah. This part of his life that was weighing on him, and the Jell-O and his relationship with his mother, and he's breathy and he's trying to accomplish something, and he sounds like he might die halfway through the segment, and it's really good.
That's amazing.
Thinking back to my childhood now, you know what I could really go for that I haven't had in years is a hard shell taco.
Yeah.
Like
Ortega.
When was the last time you had a hard shell taco?
We did taco nights a couple times.
I have not had one at all recently. And I recently read that they were coming back, and I was excited.
I think there's definitely going to be a hard shell taco in restaurant resurgence.
I want one.
Similarly, there's like a big lasagna moment going on right now.
Wow.
Yeah. Have you had the Don Angie lasagna?
I have. It's amazing, life-changing.
Yeah.
The lasagna at Capon's Steakhouse.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's what I call it, too.
It's Bowery Meat Company.
Bowery Meat Company.
Howie, thank you so much. How do we find you?
Yeah.
You find me at Howie Kahn on
K-A-H-N?
Instagram. KAHN. HOWIE.
And check out Sneakers, the book.
Sneakers, the book, available at bookstores everywhere and Amazon.
It's amazing.
Great.
And the Prince Street Podcast.
And the Prince Street Podcast.
Download, rate, review.
Download, rate, and review. And look for his byline.
Yeah.
WSJ Magazine.
Yeah.
There you go.
Guys, thank you so much.
This was so much. And stay busy, everybody.
Because I'm busy. Whenever I get with her, say I'm busy. And I'm going to hit you later because I'm busy. Busy with her.